Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips and I will spell. Cause they don't just play but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to build Liverpool into a bastion of invincibility, you know, like... Napoleon died.
I'm starting this podcast with a round of applause.
European champions, yeah?
Woo! But this round of applause is for Paul, because he called the Champions League win. Alright, big up Paul.
Professor Paul.
The football geek.
You can get it, man.
That Clyde, you know, that quote you said earlier, we can let that go now.
Yeah.
You know what you're
You
talking about.
redeemed yourself.
Thank you very much.
Alright, people, welcome to another episode of the Anfield South podcast.
Come on!
And we are 6-time European champions.
Say it again. How many?
6-time European champions.
Let's talk about six, baby.
Let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things.
Listen.
Happy days, man.
He had a bit of rhythm there.
It's been an amazing weekend, an absolutely amazing weekend. Obviously, we won the Champions League final. Final score was 2-0. Penalty from Mo, and I don't know, an arrow of a shot from Divock, man.
He didn't think about it. It was just instinct.
Just hit it.
Just hit it. When he has to think about stuff, it don't always go like that.
It's funny, you know, because in that game, every pass Divock made went astray.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
Like the rest of the team.
Do you know what? I'm not going to
defense,
say that the team was terrible, but I think it showed how long we hadn't played for. We lost that edge, that sharpness. That rhythm. I think going forward, I think UEFA have to look at the gap. I think this gap needs to
madness.
It's too far.
That's madness.
But if we was like in FA Cup, then it wouldn't have been as long. So that's maybe why it was set like that. And due, it's not a World Cup year or a European Championship year. That's why you have the extra long time.
Probably spread it out, give us something to look forward to.
It used to be like on a Wednesday, like back in the day. It used to be on a Wednesday,
It's commercial
like
value, innit? They need to put it on a
May the
weekend now.
25th or something. Then they went to a Saturday. That was too long. I was saying to my cousin that it's bound to be a classic because Liverpool and Tottenham. But I wonder if it's going to be like the first game of the European Championships or the World Cup when they haven't played for a month. And it's kind of like they find their feet. It wasn't great.
It wasn't the greatest final, but like
we care?
Exactly.
No, we don't care. No.
The history books ain't gonna say this final was a bit
See,
dry.
when you see the trophy, it says 2019 Champions League winners. It says Liverpool. It doesn't say how we played.
It's a beautiful trophy. I
That's
never
all that
looked at
counts.
that trophy like so properly like I have in the last few days, like from different angles. You can see the scratches.
Underneath the stars.
Underneath the
you can-
scratches
yeah,
on it.
the stars
And they kept
underneath,
talking about how heavy it was.
Yeah, but it looks heavy at points, but then you see someone walking with it, holding it by
just
one
one
handle, and you're like,
It makes you think
light,
Souness,
innit?
mate. Souness in Rome. One hand.
Yeah.
Just like, rah.
Yeah, it's mad.
That's the power triumph gives you.
Yeah, it's like true, you know. Listen, anyone that watches, have seen all of our podcasts, or even listened to all of our podcasts, will know how much stick Jordan Henderson has had to suffer.
Mate.
Throughout the season. And a few of us have backed him, and a few of us haven't. And that's fair enough. We're all entitled to our opinions. But the joy it gave me to see him lift that trophy, and the goosebumps and the water that nearly came to my eye when he hugged his dad.
Come for me, man. It come.
Listen, that was emotional.
Don't you think that was the fucking greatest trophy lift you've ever fucking seen?
I loved it. I loved
the
it.
way
You know
that he
that?
spun round and done a little tiptoe
love
thing
that.
and then that was
I didn't
brilliant.
expect it because when they gave it to him, I thought he was just going to lift it there. And
Yeah, I thought that
I
too.
see him take a little moment for himself, give it a kiss,
That was
walk over to everybody else, embrace everybody, and then turn. That was wicked.
And it
he
was the
did
way
it like a pro, like he's done it before. And he's a newbie.
Yeah, it was the way they did the woo, and it was perfect.
And the emotion my mate I watched it with was like, when we won it, he was like, I can't wait to see Jordan's response to this. You know, he's a nutter. He's going to go mad. And he done a decent little Mackham accent and then done his impression. And it was true. Like, because if we analyse Henderson, there's so many different facets to what led to that, yeah?
Can you facet? Can you explain that word? Because
I hope I'm using the right word.
I'm playing. Go on.
Well, it's we all through season, social media, even pundits were like, Henderson doesn't give enough protection to the back four. And sometimes I thought he did, but after about 60 minutes, especially in home games, he's like he run out of adrenaline or whatever.
Yeah, was it someone on here said that once his adrenaline runs out,
That was me.
Yeah, it was you. That's it. Then he sort of,
especially in the home games, and then when we would lose control in midfields because he's a good footballer. But it was the Southampton game because we all do rotation. But the Southampton game, I think he was dropped. Like he was like, we need to win this game, and you're not playing. And he came back and he went in the midfield, which I actually thought he could do quite well. But I thought it'd be interesting to see him do a pressing game in a number 8.
But you said prior to the Man United game, you'd like to see him higher up the pitch.
Yeah, but only as a presser. I didn't
just
expect
for
him
his
to
energy.
be.
You didn't expect him to do anything.
I didn't expect him to
do anything like he did at Southampton.
I didn't expect him to be so class. Like he's scoring goals, he's made chances. The Chelsea game, he surprised me. I'm happy to be surprised.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
So you say from like March, the last like 8 weeks of the season, he's really turned his Liverpool career around.
He's been world class. He's been world
Been
class.
a captain basically.
Okay,
he's been a captain.
I don't know about world class.
He's
been effective. Putting a
world class performer. Then.
Yeah.
How about that?
No, I'm having that. I'm having that from you, Paul. Yeah, he's been world class, and we needed him at this point of the season. At that point of the season,
stood up.
Yeah,
Captain, what a captain should do.
Yeah.
My thing with Henderson always, he's not standing up as a captain. The final last year when we lost to Madrid, I was like, where's this guy? He's just hiding. He's doing passes side. He's not getting the game by the scruff of the neck. What we're used to as a captain, but the last 2 months of the season, he stood up and be a captain.
Would anybody disagree with me if I said this final, he was probably one of the best players on the pitch?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. For me, just for the fact, he did lead by example for me in that final. He was trying to press, and from what I was hearing, I wasn't out in Madrid. It was hot, it was humid, but he was trying to lead by example. I see him trying to make things happen. He was putting in tackles, and that's what you need in a game like that. Someone to take the lead and be like.
Apart from that volley, which I turned it. That was
All
one of the worst shots I've seen in my whole life, especially the big match.
Saw the headlines.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he did. So,
apart from that, though,
you know his finishing's not the best.
Yeah.
Like his shooting's not
we
the
gotta
best.
keep
anyway.
it. We gotta keep it gully for like some like the Henderson haters are still there. Like, come on, that volley.
To be fair though, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that maybe some of the stick he was getting was unfair because
100%.
after he had the
unfair.
conversation, he came out and said he had a conversation with Klopp talking about his position and that he needed to play further forward and he was only following instructions that were given to him playing as a DM, and you could see the change immediately in his performances after he's had that.
He looked comfortable, didn't he?
Yeah, and so that alone tells you that if somebody goes out there and plays, for example, i.e. when Sterling played under Pellegrini, he looked like Navas.
Yeah,
average.
average.
He looked average.
Yeah.
And then he's come under Pep now, and Pep said, go and do this, be yourself, a different player. Do you know what I mean? And I think these things, if you're following tactics that are instructions given to you by a manager, you got to do it or you don't play.
Yeah.
And that's what he's been following. But he's
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
conversation.
You want to get on the pitch, so you do as you're told, basically.
Exactly.
I've got another apology to Henderson actually, because when he came out and said I want to play up further up, I was thinking, was it me and you maybe driving up here? I was like, he's a bit of a loudmouth here. He needs to fucking play some football.
We were thinking
like,
he thought he had too much power.
Yeah. But
we actually said we thought Klopp was a little bit scared of him.
Yeah, maybe
And we were
like Kane and
just
Pochettino.
Yeah, similar sort of thing. But I don't know if it was that at the time. I think he was having an honest conversation with his manager to say, well, do you know what? I think maybe I can affect the game a little bit more further forward. He did it respectfully. We were thinking he was being arrogant and going in there like saying, look at me, you know what I mean?
But look what JR just said about saying where was Henderson in last year, and also we all say when Balotelli took that penalty off him, was he captain then?
No,
he wasn't, but he was on the pitch and he was
actually he must have been captain, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, Gerrard was still Balotelli had 1 season or 2 seasons of us.
Gerrard was there with Balotelli.
He was
the first
So you
season.
reckon Gerrard
Maybe he was
Balotelli?
captain that day then, because Gerrard takes penalties, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
must have been,
And he took the ball off
Balotelli
him, and everyone was
bullied
like, he got buoyed, blah 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 blah. But now he's changed completely because when it got after because of the social media influence, and that's why Klopp said, a lot of people said about Henderson, and Henderson was obviously emotional because he's heard the criticism. I thought if he was more of a pussy then, he would have gone to Van Dijk, which is the person in the narrative is like he should be captain, and gone, let's lift it together. Do you know, which sometimes people do.
Yeah.
But he was no, he's got his armband on. Do you know what I mean?
He's
and
the
he's the
captain.
one who picked it up.
Yeah.
I read that he tried to beckon Klopp come and lift it, and Klopp said no.
Yeah, Klopp was
doing it.
Yeah, Klopp did come out and say he wasn't interested in lifting the trophy. He was just happy to see everybody's faces.
He had his turn.
He did have his turn. But
he
was
for the actual
happy.
main lift,
Yeah, he
there's
was
no
happy
way.
to see Henderson lift it. Sorry.
And I know it's one of those things that it's like I never actually envisaged ever seeing Henderson lift the trophy.
We didn't.
No,
We
I
didn't.
never had that vision or
And
that dream.
Some of you I remember you just like Henderson ain't lifting no. He's not my captain. He can't be lifting no
Yeah, I
trophy.
heard
Remember,
that
Neil
was
like
my
kind of
captain.
mad
That was a bit
I
harsh.
imagine Milner doing it. I imagine Milner
Yeah.
doing it because
Yeah,
Milner
you can see
has
it.
that kind of that
Pedigree.
aura about him. But I never imagined Henderson. But the way he did it,
Wicked.
take
More
my
of
hat off
that.
to
We
him,
need
man.
more of that.
Natural.
Proper,
More
natural.
natural.
Like, he's gonna do that again. You know,
You know what? Like,
he's gonna lift another trophy for
Do you know what?
You
Do
realise
you
that?
know what?
we
Sam,
got 3 more to go in it this year.
that leads me nicely onto a question. We will go back more into the Champions League final, but I just asked this question since you said that. Do you think this group of players can stay together and achieve more?
There's absolutely no reason why we can't. Like, this is the first year when I'm 100% sure we're not going to sell any of our star players. Yeah, so if we add to this, how can we not get better? How can we actually not improve at this point?
What would you add?
That's what I was going to say. John Barnes said that he doesn't think that we need to
I
have
heard
any
Johnny B say
additions.
that this morning, and I was like, Johnny B, you're coming with this screws again, man.
No.
He does talk a lot of stuff. Every team has to evolve. Every team has to improve, and we've got holes in our team. We do. You know, we were lucky. It was about 2 podcasts ago, and we were like, touch wood. No one's gonna get injured.
Yeah.
And then Firmino got injured.
Yeah,
And we're like,
yeah.
shit. You've got to realize that our main key players, our main creative players, so your Trent, Robinson, and the front 3 generally played the whole season.
True, you know.
And look,
You
when
know?
Trent was injured, we was like
Yeah,
screaming
when Trent
kittens.
was out, yeah,
It was like,
we had a
we should have
problem.
sold Klein. Why did we do this?
Yeah,
James,
we were
James
going
Milner
mad
can't play
over
right back. We were
Thinking that Klein was the
stressing.
guy.
We were stressing.
You know, and so that shows us that we were lucky this season.
You were stressing, bro.
Yeah. We was lucky. So
Well,
if we add in the right areas,
We'll get onto transfers a little bit later. Let's talk more about the Champions League. So obviously the first goal came from a Mane. He tried to sort of dink the ball into the box, and
Sissoko thought he was doing orchestra
had his arm
and telling everyone
just
to go.
quickly, pen or no pen?
Champions League pen, Premiership
I
no
would
pen.
be fuming if it was against
that's a
us.
very good. That's a
That's
very
a
good.
very-
yeah.
That's a very good
clever.
way of analysing it because you're bang on. You're bang on. I mean, I saw it and I didn't think pen straight away, but obviously I screamed
But
for it
if
like a
you-
maniac.
if
But
you-
I just
Yeah.
it goes the other way, I'd
if
go
that was the
mad.
other way, we'd feel it was harsh because it rolled off his
But the
chest.
players'
But
reactions, though,
his
when
arm
they
was
did it.
out, and the UEFA have said if you're making your body bigger, then you've got a problem in it. So
I just think that showed Sissoko's a bit brain dead at times because
A bit.
why is your against us he goes brain dead. We saw it in the league when he skied it over the bar when Van Dijk put him on his left. He does some madness like why is your hand up in the air? You're orchestrating.
I'm
to your
grateful
team
for it, though.
Where to
yeah,
go?
we'll take it all day, mate.
Of course you're gonna take it. It's a
Yeah.
pen in you
Yeah.
in Champions League.
You should be
but
concentrating on what's in front of you, isn't it?
Pen or no pen, Paul?
I honestly don't know. Did it even hit it? So it hit
It's
his
like an
armpit.
It hit his chest and it rolled down. It hit his arm.
I guess
slightly.
you know what, that is quite unnatural. It's a penalty,
That's
then, isn't
unnatural.
it? Because of the
why
unnatural.
Why are you directing at that
Yeah,
point?
then
There
it's
must have been some
it's a
traffic.
pen. It's a pen.
hella traffic.
There must
bro.
have been hella traffic. Yeah,
hella
I mean,
traffic.
because-
Them
no.
Spurs fans that was late on the plane getting in.
Yeah.
Taxi for Sissoko. Taxi for Sissoko, mate. It's the only one.
Penalty for me all day.
Therefore,
yeah,
100%.
no qualms. If that was Van Dijk or Matip doing that, I'd be fuming. I'd be saying, why is your arm out there?
Slip
Very,
back.
very, very, very brave of the ref though. 25 seconds into the game. I mean, he could have really easily bottled that.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
just what? Nope, nope.
I heard today that they're saying the new rules will be if it hits your hand full stop, it's a penalty.
No,
mad,
no,
no.
no,
Not possible.
No,
Not
not
But
possible.
possible. Season, though.
that whole UEFA directive, I think, is a thing we're going to see in the Premiership next season because of VAR. If you're making your body bigger, you're going to get a penalty given against you to make
But
it
it's
easier.
hard. Like me, I'm a defender, Slim, and to like at my level when I see players holding their hand behind, I'm like, what are you doing? Like you're naturally arms will you come out when you're blocking stuff.
I was having this conversation today, but football evolves. Whether you like it or not, football evolves. Like how we've gone away from slide tackles. How often do you see a slide tackle? But back in the day, you know, Razor Rudder.
Of course, it evolves.
So, right, so
But
football
there's
evolves, and
certain physics you need to
yeah,
use
I hear
in a
you.
game.
But trust me, years to come,
Of course,
defending
yeah,
with
yeah,
your arms
yeah.
behind your back is going to be standard
Yeah,
because
I
of the way
agree.
football's
I
going.
agree, but it's like when this whole thing about elbowing in football. Like, how are you meant to jump up without using your arms? You're gonna jump up like pencil
get-
jump,
I get
head
it.
of the ball.
I get
Origi's
it.
goal, what did the Tottenham defenders ran in like
Oh,
that?
the railroad, didn't it? That's
Yeah.
why he didn't block it. If he just ran in normal, he would have blocked it.
But he was shook.
Mm,
But I'm
I
glad he
don't
put
know
his
about
hands
that.
high.
Yeah, it was a bit too late. But
Yeah.
yeah, the idea, but your point is it can happen because lots of people do that.
And him doing that caused that half a yard of Origi to get that shot in. Watch it again.
There was a game the other day. Sunez or one of the old like codgers was having a good moan, going, "How's that natural? How's that natural?" Like this sort of action.
That's how they're doing it in training now. So it's becoming natural to people now. You'll see the kids now as well. Like of a certain age start to defend that way. And like I said, eventually, years to come, when we're all old and grey, you were going to see defending like that as standard. You see what I mean? It's crazy. I don't want to see it personally, but I understand why they do it.
They'll probably get good at it.
Yeah.
Because they're professionals.
Yeah,
aren't they?
exactly. But
football does definitely evolve, and
100%. That's it. It has sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse, but it is what it is, isn't it?
So what did you think of the pen? I thought the pen was awful.
It was a terrible pen.
Terrible.
It was
Lloris
a
looked at it and he
terrible
pushed his
penny.
arms like
Mate.
it was there, but he
Had
was
lucky.
Lloris
stood
had
still.
waited, he would have saved it.
It's cool.
Or if Salah
Pass
just
back.
like the thing is with Salah, I've noticed his penalties. Most of his penalties he's taken, he's absolutely rasped them into the corner, like smashed them. This one was not in the corner, neither in the centre. It was just in that bit where the goalkeeper can get it.
Pressure.
Yeah, it's pressure. His eyes, man. I was just like hyperventilating. I'm not sure if it was because he was fast and whatever, but he looked knackered. He had these massive bags.
He's fasting. He's definitely fasting.
It didn't fill me with much confidence.
100% fasting.
And just before, because I was in the car and Radio 5 Live, they were talking about the what could happen. And they kept talking about Lloris penalties. Saved his last three. Lloris. And I got in 20 seconds later, there's a penalty. And all I could think about was the guy saving penalties.
Do you want to know something? I said it when we went on to Talk Sport. When I went, was it in the morning or in the evening? I can't even remember.
Must be an evening.
Yeah, I said it on Talk Sport. I said if a keeper saves a penalty, it's a bad penalty.
Keeper shouldn't save pens, innit?
Yeah, because they were talking about the Aguero penalty that Lloris saved. I said that was a poor penalty. Keep from 12 yards out, the keeper should stand no chance. He's one person in a how big is a goal? I don't know the dimensions of a goal.
12 foot, what?
However wide it is, there's no way he should know where you're going, and you should be able to hit it with that much power and accuracy that is past him before he's even got to that.
Shearer.
Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's how you should take penalties, bro.
Ross it.
There should be no missing. There should be no missing. Even if you put it in the corner, the same corner 20 times in a row, you should be able to hit it with that much power and accuracy that is past him.
So what does that mean? It was written for us, wasn't it?
I guess.
From 20 seconds.
But Salah's penalties are always dead. So, like, Salah takes penalties like Suarez used to take penalties. That's why Suarez never took penalties, because
I was nervous when Salah
couldn't
stepped
take
up.
penalties. Salah, and then like,
Some
at
players can't take penalties.
Cardiff, Milner was on the pitch, and Salah's like, give me the ball. Milner's like, no.
Do you know what's
But
funny?
he knows.
He knows.
You can't take pens, bro.
Do you know what's funny? Yeah, the people I was watching it with, right? I was like, oh my days, who's going to take this penalty? And someone went, Milner. I said, he's not even on the pitch. Like it was an instinct for that person to save Milner. And even I was, when the penalty came, I was like, where's Milner? He's not on the pitch.
Did you see Mane's celebration for the goal?
Yeah, he was on the
he
floor,
was on the
like,
floor.
it just on
Collapsed.
his knees, like, yeah. But anyway, let's move on from not slightly move on from the penalty. Do you think the early goal dictated the way the game went?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were discussing this.
Yeah.
Last week,
I think
and
so.
we kind of felt, I felt that Klopp had a game plan to contain regardless. Yeah, but it actually kind of brought us into a false sense of the game plan too early, because by scoring that early in the game, you actually you're resetting too early. You haven't even got into your stride into how you're going to play and what your patterns of play are. Because I think like Klopp had set us up deliberately to have less possession because he thought we could contain them.
You mean even at the start of the game, you reckon?
Yeah, and
I
obviously we started with a lot of adrenaline.
we started off so what
But that was literally 20 seconds. This is it. We didn't even get into settles to anything. And at that point, all of a sudden, hold on, we've scored, and like we haven't even started to get into our positions of play or anything.
But Slim saying that came from the press, didn't it? Didn't we
Not
push
really.
him?
It was we lost. We won
Oh,
four battles in midfield,
Yeah.
4 challenges.
They were great,
It was
but
no
they were
pressing.
4.
It was just I think Matip won one, Van
Henderson
Dijk
won
won
one.
one, and then Henderson.
Dude, remind me, who
Henderson,
kicked
man like
off?
Pirlo. Shout out to Ryan.
Who kicked off?
Matip
kicked off.
Matip did a lot.
We done our usual Sunday League one. I love it. Just poof it down the left wing.
And for once, it didn't go out of play.
Yeah.
It would have if Trippier didn't header it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's true.
But yeah, Pen 1-0, rest is history, innit?
It was so early. You know,
carry on,
sometimes
Sam.
when you score too early in a game, it's like, right, hold on, we got a long way to go. And
But you know what?
It's interesting.
Tottenham, Sini, they huffed and they puffed and they didn't score for practically 89 minutes. I mean, you can't really complain about that penalty and you don't score for 89 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
It took them 78 minutes to get a shot on target. So, and it shows that we were comfortable throughout. And if I'm honest, there wasn't really, at no point did I feel really like, oh, this is going to get away from us sort of thing. I didn't like the pattern of the game, don't get me wrong, because they had lots of possession. But I didn't feel like they were particularly dangerous, like a goal was imminent.
Yeah.
So I think we contained them well, we defended well, and I think of the finals that I've watched and witnessed myself, that's probably the most comfortable final
Anyone
I've
will
watched.
win.
Yeah, normally
Easily,
I've got
if
heart
I was you.
palpitations.
Liverpool don't
What,
do
for us?
Liverpool
Or
don't
any
do simple
World Cup
finals.
game?
No, our final.
Oh,
I'm
for
talking
us,
about
yeah.
us.
Yeah,
us.
we usually go to
Finals,
penalties.
Have you not seen our
no,
finals?
you're right, you're
Our
right.
finals, honestly, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
A&E.
yeah,
you need
100%.
A&E.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
right.
this is. I actually sat there and I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm not even worried about this. I felt comfortable,
Mate.
I felt comfortable.
I'm glad you did, boy.
I felt towards as the time got closer towards the 90 minutes, like the 70-minute mark, I got a bit more uncomfortable because then I wanted us to keep the ball and be in control of the game more, so that nothing could happen. I understand what you mean. I didn't feel Tottenham had that final ball to score, but I wanted to be safe. If we've got the ball, then nothing can 100% happen.
Absolutely
You see what I mean?
correct.
That was
Agree.
it. I thought we could have, when we won the ball, we could have used it better and kept it better. But
So from last year's final to this final, what was the big difference?
We all know.
Goalkeeper.
innit? Goalkeeper.
do you know
Goalkeeper.
what? See,
Errors.
do you want to know something? I don't think it
Wasn't the
comes down
goalkeeper.
to a personal, individual player.
Hey.
I just think it's.
Hey, my brother. Hey. Why is he talking like that?
Why?
Hey. What do you mean?
Let me explain.
Speak your mind. Foolish guy. Come on.
I tell you why. I think team mentality and the team experience of a final is what done it for us. Don't get me wrong. Alisson made some excellent saves, and throughout the Champions League run, there were some great individual performances. But I just think the belief that the team had as a whole and the mentality that they had is what got us to the final and what got us through the final. That experience.
Bit of game management.
Game management was
of course, that as well.
But do you think the game management was as good as it should have been? Because I've seen us see out games really, really well, and I feel totally comfortable.
Yeah.
That one last
that was
night,
the worst.
I didn't feel.
That was the
comfortable at
worst. That was the worst game I've seen us play all season.
Yeah.
But I still think the team
Wasn't
had
the
the
worst for
belief
me.
and the mental. Maybe
could
no,
defend
actually,
that.
probably
Man
not.
United
but
away, Everton away.
let's not
Those were
talk about
shocking.
Premier League games just yet. Yeah, we'll get there. But I'm just saying. They could have dealt with it better, but
I think
I
they
just
managed.
the
I think we
belief-
managed it. I think we managed it. We contained. We knew we could defend for the whole game. And if shots went through to Alisson, he makes stuff like shots that are coming into him. He holds it,
Gathers it.
or when he's saving, he pushes it out wide.
Yeah.
He don't go back into danger. Where last season the keeper would have went straight back into danger. Someone's got to tap in.
Yeah.
Them simple things you might not think about. He was always in the right position when shots are coming in. He's coming straight into his midriff. It's because he's in the right position.
I think I get what you're saying, JR, but I think we're just being a little bit harsh on, i.e., Karius, because obviously the mistakes he made. How do we know if Karius had been in that position again? He wouldn't have been a better goalkeeper. At the end of the day, he's a goalkeeper. He gets training. He knows
Bun
positions.
Karius,
That's fair
To
enough.
be honest, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not, Alice, so when you're talking about his position, that's to me, that's where you should be.
I would say-
It's like a right
We
back.
should be,
in a
but
right back
not every
position.
keeper is.
No, of course, but
That's why we paid what we paid.
I get it.
for
I
that
get it. I
performance.
get it. But
Slim, I reckon it's chicken and egg, like what came first, because I think you're right. The team's evolved. Klopp said it's a better team. The defense is better, and we could have kept. Karius could have kept a clean sheet because we limited quite a bit, and the shots were pretty not simple, but at that high pressure, great to get.
Karius wants to build something,
All
bro.
Alisson saved, you'd expect a decent keeper to make.
yeah,
But that's why I
There
said
weren't any
that's why I
outstanding
said
stays
chicken and
there.
egg.
But like
because
what you said was right, JR. What he did everything to perfection, and there was no scary moments. There was nothing that bounced
But
off.
what
him.
does that bring to the defense then?
there you go. That's the
Said
chicken and
confidence.
eggs.
Yeah.
It brings
Confidence and stuff.
But then Van Dijk is not a man that needs confidence from his goalkeeper. Van Dijk gives out the confidence. He breathes the confidence, in my opinion.
But Van Dijk paid in the final last year.
Next to Lovren.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hey, listen, hey, man, don't say a bad word about my guy Lovren, yeah? Because when I was alongside that parade bus, talking to Lovren, asking him to sign my shirt, he was the one that grabbed my shirt and signed it, yeah?
Equal opportunities, man.
Big
You have
up,
to
big
defend
up.
Big up
Station.
Lovren,
Yeah,
yeah?
big up tour guide,
Yeah,
Lovren.
yeah, all
8
right.
languages or whatever. Yeah, all right. He's a good guy.
Hey, let me have my
Stay away from
say
the
on the
team.
final then, yeah? So, what Sam said about the team dropping deep and Mourinho. That's what
Mourinho,
I was going
you
to
know?
come to. Klopp having a
Wait till you hear
game
this,
plan, yeah? The person I've cussed everywhere I can this season is Mourinho. I hate him, right? But then shout out to Ryan. He was saying at points when he was saying in the season, when I cuss him, he would say, but he's a winner. And then we're all having this sort of like big sort of philosophical debate about football and what's winning and how much does it matter that you play good football, etc., etc. But we had the first clean sheet, and I clocked that. We had the first clean sheet since 2010 in that
9
final.
years,
when Mourinho
last one.
and the goalie
Who was the keeper,
and the goal,
Paul?
but then I only found out later the goalie was Brazilian, Julio Cesar.
And the possession was less. We was the first team to have under like 35% possession, and when Inter played Bayern, their percentage was lower as well. So it kind of mirrored exactly the same game,
So
and it was in
see
Madrid
there?
as well.
Jurgen Mourinho.
And it was in Madrid as well. That final as well.
Was
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Do you
Bayern
think?
have 2-0.
Do
Yeah,
you
Bayern.
think?
Wow.
Klopp
Wow.
maybe
Wow.
went back,
Okay.
took some notes, maybe.
No, he's just
No.
he's just developed game management to his
Yeah,
repertoire.
because
That's all he has.
Yeah.
Because we didn't think he had that last season. We were gung ho.
Wait, let me add on one point though, because although we dropped deep, I think that was a natural thing to do anyway. You just started the game. You're basically starting the game 1-0 up. Why would you go for the throw? I think we just remember offensively we played shit. And if we played 10% better, we would have wiped the floor with America because we had a goal. We had a head start.
Yeah.
So we were getting knackered. Like there was a point where I saw Robertson would have the ball and he just looked so fucking scared. This was like in the 60th minute. And they were just hammering the ball down the line. Hammering it.
long
The
balls.
midfielders weren't following Mane or Salah to get a 2-on-1 or anything. They was sizing them up. And Rose played really well. So Salah
Rose
found
is a
it
good
tricky.
player,
Rose was not
Rose is a
mugging
very good
people
player.
for fun, wasn't he? But
Oh, you nutmegged Henderson.
yeah, and so when
that
else
pissed
after?
me off.
But
Yeah.
and another thing is, I don't blame him too much. The weather, the break.
But this is the problem.
And the nerves as well.
Those last two things for me were key: the temperature and the nerves. Being 1-0 up from so early, and knowing what happened last
Look at Mane's
year.
celebration.
But they had a week's training camp to acclimatise for that heat.
Yeah,
So
but they
for that-
came back. They came back to Liverpool, so they had the training camp and then they came back to Liverpool. Whereas I feel they should have stayed
should
in
have
Marbella
stayed there, I don't
and
understand.
then
No,
went
But
to
you know why they
Madrid.
didn't do that? Because they didn't want to break the routine of what just going being a normal game. And if you were being in Madrid for too long, you're getting involved with the hype of the event and everything leading up to
Yeah,
it.
see where
Just
there
go
you
the day before
there
the
you
game
go.
and make it a normal
Tomato,
game.
tomato, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, it's one of those things. So they did it how they did it. Do you know what I mean? But
Is what it is.
I think you could definitely tell, like I said at the top, definitely tell that they hadn't played for 3 weeks. And I think the heat was a factor because at every break I saw one point Mo Salah drinking the water from the Tottenham guys came on for, was it Dyer or one of them? No, it wasn't Dyer. Who's the other guy in centre back? No, centre back. Alderweireld and who? Vertonghen. I think it was Vertonghen went down and it hurt his elbow.
And that was
Salah
early in the
there
match.
drinking water, and that was early. So I think that played a big part in the performances of both teams.
But obviously we won, and in terms of individual performances, our defense was fantastic. Did you see at least defensively anyway? Like they didn't play their normal game, but defense. Did you see when Son tried to chop?
Come on.
Trent.
Come on.
He was 1-on-1. He was 1-on-1, and he was miles from goals. So he'd have had plenty of time, and he likes time. He prefers time.
Trent got caught under the ball a couple of times. So
Yeah, he did.
That
That
crossfield ball,
yeah.
that crossfield ball beat him a couple of times, bro.
But he that was a 1-on-1. He was 10 out of 10 for marking.
Listen, I don't want to knock performances, but had that been a better team, we'd have been punished. He got caught under that ball.
But it wasn't,
Yeah.
and we're champions.
Yeah. No, so it's calm. It's calm.
Half
But you know
full,
what?
not half
No,
empty.
we're here to dissect though. We're
Totally
here to
full.
dissect.
Totally full,
My
bro.
glass is 100% full. Trust me.
You need a refill there, bro.
100%.
Well, then I reckon
It's 100% full. But I'm
Tottenham-
just saying
Go on.
that crossfield ball has been a problem for Trent since the Man
And
United
Gomez
game.
Gomez
when he
though.
tried
And
to-
Gomez though. Gomez
There you
gets
go.
caught under
Is
it.
it when he tried to get with his toe, right?
It was a couple times. There was a couple times where I just think he misjudges the flight of the ball because there's going to be a time where it's going to come over your head. You're not going to get it, but if you get back into position, you know the winger's going to get it. If you get into there's a specific position you can get into where you can cover it. You're in front of him. You're facing him already. Instead of trying to dive in and win it,
That happens
Yeah.
with Robertson as well.
or
That's the
waiting
worst
for it
thing
to
you
go
could
to
do.
him and then go in. If you anticipate, right, it's going over my head.
Let
Let
me
me
get
get into
myself
position
set.
so I
Yeah.
can face him. Like Trent doesn't do that. He lets the ball go over him, and then I think he relies too much on his pace to get him back in. So he's
That will come with
reactive
age,
instead
though.
of proactive
Yeah.
at times, and that's
Carl Walker's the same though. Carl
Yeah, but-
Walker is just relies on his pace to get him out of trouble.
one day it's gonna let you down though.
That
and
happened
it
to
can
Robertson
cost
as well,
us.
at least twice, because one went over Robertson, and I was like, that ball's too long. Turn around. It took too long. I think maybe Trippier got it down, and he had Eriksen in the box, and Eriksen standing there. I was like, he's gonna pass Eriksen, and he let whoever, like maybe Ronaldo or Milner was on the pitch that time, come inside to block it. It took too long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know the
But
bits.
I really think the Giraffe played outstanding on set pieces.
Fantastic. You said
He was blocking every any cross that come in, it was him clearing everything.
Yeah, wasn't the Giraffe better than Van Dijk?
Apart from that tackle on Son, innit?
Apart from that tackle on Son,
arguably,
I think the Giraffe played better.
I think I've always said it. Like I personally think them two are our best centre back pairing. Everyone's like Gomez. Gomez is good, but Matip's got a bit more experience from me than Gomez.
Yeah, I'd
He has
back
got-
you
he
on
He's got
that.
a bit more
just a bit
experience.
more.
But
I'd
at the
back you on that.
beginning of the season,
Gomez was
Gomez
convincing.
was doing the
Gomez
same thing.
was-
He had
of
performances
course,
bigger than
of course.
Van Dijk. I just think because he's younger, you're not going to give it to him
No,
immediately.
I don't think.
The way that he looked at the beginning of the
disagree with you
season.
there. The age is not the issue.
I think for some people
I think it's the reason why it sticks out for me for Matip being better than Gomez is the fact that Matip's had a chance in the first team and he was. Let's just have it right. He was shocking, and so he's come in. He's seen. He's changed. He's done whatever he's done. I don't know if eating fufu, not eating fufu.
yeah,
my friend,
like,
it's fufu.
fufu. So I don't know what he's doing, but whatever he's doing, he's done it, and he's come back 10 times better. And Gomez is not going to get
Do
back
you know
into
why?
that spot now.
My theory is because he knows he's playing. When you're in and out as a centre back, me know it's hard to get a rhythm. Football is all about rhythm.
Yeah.
If you know you're not going to play, you're going to come in for this game and then you're going to be out. It's hard. Matip knows I'm playing for a good few months now because Lovren ain't coming in front of me, innit?
Yeah.
So if I perform, I'm staying in the team. And he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
I don't
he
think
has
I
been.
can separate them because as far as I can see,
Come on, Paul, man.
as far as I can see, defensive record's been consistent. I don't remember Gomez being twisted at all.
We're not saying JR's not saying that Gomez is bad.
No,
No.
Not
he's,
at all.
I'm talking about how to.
I thought we were talking about Lovren just then.
Oh fuck off!
That's how like, come on, Paul, bro.
No, Gomez.
Oh,
yeah,
right, fair.
yeah.
I don't. To be fair, either or of them being in, I have no
You'd
problem.
be happy.
Yeah.
but I
That's
tell
the way
you,
we
I-
want it.
I use that competition.
type
for
of
And
players.
that's why everyone
That's
was
the
getting
type of
gassed up
quality.
about this Delict coming. I was like, why are we getting him for? We
No,
don't
no,
need
no.
him.
The reason we're getting him is because both Gomez and Matip are injury prone. They both get
Facts.
injured a lot.
Facts.
Yeah,
And
so
If you took it out of my mouth, I was just
Facts.
about to
Yeah.
say, we just need that consistent centre back there that's going to partner Van Dijk.
But Matip, he broke his collarbone. He got clamped by Koulibaly, I think, in the Napoli game. Broke his collarbone but since then he's come back.
yeah,
he missed the
every
game,
season
bro.
he's been Liverpool, he's had an injury,
He's had injuries,
a big
man,
injury,
yeah.
in
And
season.
Gomez loves an injury.
You know, it's
Yeah, Gomez is proper
Gomez
flaky,
loves
but
an injury.
Matip, I'm having Matip.
Is
man.
there how comes Van Dijk never gets injured? And
Whoa, calm down. What's happening here, man? Who does that? Who does that?
Excuse me.
Easy,
Who does
bro.
that?
Can you make the sign of the cross
Who does
5
that?
times, spin around, and say 2 Hail Marys, please? Because
Who does that?
Give me some of the accent. Go on.
put
go
some
on.
James Brown on, and I'll spin around.
Charlie, behave yourself.
Okay, I'm cool. I'm sorry.
Bow your head and
I'm
shit.
sorry.
Bow your head.
You do that too well.
yeah,
I'm an African, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't.
let's not talk about. Don't put those 2 words in the same sentence.
Okay, how about
Let's
I'll
edit
phrase
that
it.
out.
And I was going to say, there's some correlation between our best players and their injury records. Then, do you know what I mean? They're really reliable.
Wow, I feel like we're going down the same road.
We are.
We just turned the lights off.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not like we've got a player that we're like, wait till he gets back from injury again and wait. We've always pretty
always had that.
consistent. Yeah.
We've had that in the past, but now it's like, but
Again,
we're not a
touch
one-man team anymore. Like 2 players, we're a squad.
We
So
are.
like, there's not
We're a
like
full-on squad.
back in the day when Suarez went, it was Sturridge. Like, when Sturridge come back, when Sturridge come back, it was all on Sturridge.
Yeah.
But Sturridge now, like,
Yeah.
boy.
I was happy
No.
for him.
Big up Studs though. Big
picked
up Studs because for me, he's played his part. He scored.
Yeah.
He scored some important
Do you know
goals.
what?
He scored the first goal of the campaign.
But you know what? Yeah,
Yeah, against
I looked
PSG.
at him. I was watching him, and I was like, he don't seem like he's 100% in it. Like winning it. I don't know. Like, I don't
That's
ever look
not
into
his
too
fault.
much.
Do you know what?
But
Do you
he's
know
like,
before-
he just
I
looked a
mean,
bit
he
like,
knows this is his last
Do
game.
you know what?
In it though.
I'll back you on that one because in the back of his mind, he might be thinking I was only a bit part player. Because when he won it at Chelsea, it was the same as well. He was a bit part player, wasn't he?
I was trying to work out today. Did he even play in the Chelsea final?
No.
'Cause he's got 2 Champions League medals from not
I
playing.
don't know if he did. You
in
know?
the final, but
I'm sure he
for
didn't
me,
play.
he scored.
He contributed. He
Yeah.
contributed.
Yeah.
What he contributed? I didn't. The goalkeeper. What did he have on his back? 60. What did he have on his back?
The Irish keeper. That we
yeah,
got.
he got a medal.
Yeah. He's in the squad, isn't he?
He got a medal. But my point is, he contributed more than he did, didn't he? In terms of actually being on the field. So if that,
But
if
Ox never
But Ox deserves it for last season. I don't care what
I heard
anybody
Ox took his
says.
medal off when he put it on. They put it on him, took it off straight away.
No, I didn't
he had
see
it
that.
on at the parade. and-
Did you see the picture of him walking with a trophy at the end? Wicked picture.
For me, he deserved that for what he brought to the team last season, and we didn't win anything. And the injury he got, the way he got part of the reason we lost the final was him, not being there as well. I'm telling you, as much as Salah got injured,
Our squad, looking
That's
back
when-
at our squad then, sorry to cut you. Looking back at our squad then to now, it has evolved so much. Like when Salah come off, who did we bring on in last year's final?
is it Milner?
Lallana.
There you go. Yeah.
And now look.
But that's what birthed the Brexit midfield. Because when we beginning of the season, when people were saying, "Oh, he's playing his tried and trusted," that got him to the Champions League final. That was the sentence. I was like, no, Oxlade-Chamberlain played until like the semi-finals, first leg.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Injured.
Yeah.
So
But in the final, I swear, only Alisson's the only different player that we didn't have.
Yeah. It's the same team.
Just
Matip as well, yeah, because Lovren played.
But
didn't
he's still
he?
part of the squad. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
As in, when you talk about like a change,
We
in
didn't actually have
players,
a different
it's not
team
really
apart
a different
from the
team.
goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That's why I said to you, for me, it's the mentality, the experience, the belief that they had going into the game. And as well,
trust.
shout out to every single Liverpool fan that travelled to Madrid.
Mate.
Because I pointed it out to my mates who I was watching it with. I said, look how early we're in that stadium. And when these players came out to warm up, the noise was amazing. And I said to them, my mate, watch the boos for the Tottenham fans, because half of the Tottenham fans weren't even in the stadium yet. And they were booed. And I said to everybody that would listen to me talk about the game, the atmosphere, the whole occasion is what's going to get to
We're
Tottenham as well.
seasoned at it though. Spurs are little men.
Exactly.
And they don't, these little things that make a big difference.
Exactly.
They're not used to it.
They don't know these things.
Exactly.
I was talking to this Argentinian guy in the pub one time.
Pablo.
Juan.
And he said, when I said I supported Liverpool, he's like, like they kind of got a half American accent. My friend, Liverpool, they're the only team in Europe I see that they get to the stadium early. Just what you said. And I think he was talking about the AC Milan 2005 game in Istanbul.
Well, shouts out to Landy, because Landy actually put a photo in Anfield South WhatsApp group and he had his feet up and the stadium was empty. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
But you know, the first time I
saw.
saw that is when I went to the game with you guys, the Man United game, European game.
Yeah.
And we got in there early, and it was like a rave in there in the cop. It was going off like someone scored. I said, bruh, this is. If I'm a player and I'm hearing this, I'm on this tonight.
See what I'm saying?
That
See what
early
I'm saying?
boost.
Trust me, and it counts. But you know what? While I'm thinking of Tottenham in my mind, shouts out to them, because
Thanks for coming.
yes, banter aside, they did well to get to the final.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't come to your first Champions League final and win it. I don't care who you are. So the experience will make them better. I think Poch is a great manager. He's done great things with a limited budget and with the team he's got. And I think if they back him in the summer with 150 mil, 200 mil, we'll be looking over our shoulder next season slightly.
They're
because-
a club after our own heart, I reckon.
No, we will be. No, Sam, we will be. They might not be. I don't think.
What I was saying, was about the 152 mil. Levy ain't giving them that
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
that's
money.
Well, that's. Do you know what? I don't want to get too into
not our
that
business.
because that's
That's
not
not our
our
business.
I'm just saying, like
Not our laundry, man.
bro.
from what I'm seeing of him, if they back him. They're good to go, man. So they should stick with him. Shouts out to
I
Tottenham.
definitely
man.
think like what we were saying at Talksport the other day with Harry Redknapp, like the top three, like
Name drop.
Spurs. Get it in. Us, City and Spurs will just put it away.
Yeah.
United are just, they can
Do you
stay
think
there
Spurs
for
was-
however
do you
long,
think
man.
Spurs are capable of putting away?
Yeah.
If they keep the players.
Chelsea, I can't see Chelsea now.
Well,
Hazard,
Chelsea have got
Chelsea got
two
2-year ban, so-
windows.
Hazard, though, Hazard's the X factor for them.
Yeah.
Him going,
Him going, it's
done
it's,
now.
it's done.
It's done.
Man.
Yeah, it's done
I'm
for
not having
Chelsea.
them like
they might have a clear run.
I see where you get with this.
But they won't have the players for the clear run, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Do you know what I mean?
Finishing up, I don't know if we're going to finish up, but going back to this.
Man said finishing. Not that.
Sorry,
You wanna
it's
fuck
chairs,
Chelsea?
yeah.
Like, you want to see?
I'm watching you, I'm learning from you. I can see when you're about to finish
He's
it
trying
off.
to butt me up.
Yeah.
This guy.
Nah, but back to Klopp and the fans. Do you remember I put it on the Instagram.
Isn't that my
Football
job to
Geek.
bring it back? I'm joking.
That should be the new
West
host chair.
Coast.
Palace when they beat us 2-1 and 15,000 people left, and he challenged the fans. He challenged them and said,
The mentality.
I've never felt so alone. I've never felt so alone.
Is that your Klopp? Is that your Klopp?
It's hard.
accent?
Sometimes I could do it. I could say 9. But I can't do his. Yeah, get in the chopper. Yeah, but that's not Klopp, is it?
That's Arnold. Fam.
Anyway,
And he's Austrian,
He's
isn't he?
Austrian, yeah. Can you imagine him like, Millie, get in the chopper?
You know, but we haven't talked about the second goal quickly.
Okay.
The
touch.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah, the touch and
His first
finish.
assist for the club.
Who? Giraffe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an assist for Matip, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's a beautiful touch.
It was.
It was meant as well. It wasn't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he was trying to
Oh,
get
an
rid of it. He saw
accidental,
He
Divock.
looked calm, didn't he?
and
He looked calm.
Yeah, and he just laid it off. It was a great
Forget
layoff.
the assist. That pass that he pinged out to Robinson.
Oh, the way he cut across
Cut across it.
I don't remember that one.
That was like
When
Trent
Robinson had the
Esque,
shot. Robinson had the shot.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
first half.
Yeah.
That pass.
It was
Where
naughty.
did he pull that from?
Did you hear the crowd go? Ooh.
You know what? The commentator was like about
That
to
was
say
the
it was a
Trent
risky
pass.
pass.
Yeah.
And then he like, that's an amazing ball. That's like,
And to do that in a final of that stature, to have the balls to do that. If he was that Matip last year when I done that, he would just pass back to keeper. So that's another thing with the confidence.
Yeah,
knowing,
there you go. The
your
belief, the
rhythm.
mentality. There you go. You know what I mean?
But sorry,
Yeah.
Paul, back to Origi. Go on. Sorry.
No, he wasn't going to go on about Origi.
No.
was he?
The clock. The fans when he said I never felt so alone, and then everyone laughed at us when we the next game when we drew against West Brom and Albion.
And
And we done the thing, and the memes were pretty funny too. But Klopp's a genius. He knew he was creating that bond again.
He
And
knows
we-
the fans, how important it
Yeah.
is to have the fans on our side. Because once, like, obviously we'll always back our team, but if we're made to feel special, part of it, and all of that kind of jazz, then we'll bring the fire. I think Mo Salah tweeted, "See you all in Madrid and bring the cop with you." Do you know what I'm saying? So those kind of things there, we can help the team
and the
to no
squad
end.
as well. Like big up, like we said, big up the goalie. We couldn't pronounce his name, and Sturridge, and Lallana, and Mignolet. My God, do you know what I mean? They were there for the squads that
Mignolet.
everyone says.
You're right to big up the squad because all season I haven't heard any complaints
No,
in the
do you
media.
see,
No.
Yeah.
do you see what I like as well? Like the mentality that the managers put into them when they get interviewed. Like they interviewed Origi and they said, "That's one of your greatest moments." He said, "It's not about me;
Team.
it's all
Yeah.
about the team." And most of them, everyone says that. Even I heard Sturridge saying, "But it's about the team."
But you know what? That comes down to one guy, and we have to talk about this guy. It comes down to Klopp. I mean, let's talk about Klopp.
I've
Like,
got some stuff to say about Klopp.
what more superlatives can we say about Klopp? I mean, he is just.
Let me spark this off. Yeah.
Go on.
So like in football lately, everyone talks about psychology. Pochettino's a psychologist. This is a psychologist. I think Klopp is one of the first like philosophers, right? And he's bringing the way he talks about his spirituality as well. He's been bringing it slyly lately.
What's he been saying?
Well, there was this guy, and when I came into my kitchen the other day, my wife was nearly in tears. And I was like, "What's up?" She'd listen to because listen to this, and it was
You didn't upset her, did you?
no,
You burn the dinner again.
Where's
Paul.
my beers? Basically, she was listening to 5 Live and they were interviewing this guy who was in a hospice, right? And they said he had 2 weeks to live. He's Liverpool
Oh,
supporter.
yeah. I heard about
Oh,
this.
I heard about this story.
This was 3
You
weeks
put this
ago.
in the group and you
Yeah.
told us to read
Yeah.
it,
Heard
but you
about
said
this.
it because you know where you messed up in that.
I
Just to
didn't
cut you
explain
quick,
properly.
you said no. You said it was a long read. Never say it's a
I
long
never
read.
said long read.
No, you did.
Did I? I said, what?
Yeah.
I said, what is the video? I said, watch this.
Did
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Anyway.
If I did,
Host, let him carry on,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
'cause I
yeah.
don't know this, man.
I
Come
can't
on.
remember. Anyway, so that was 3.5 weeks ago. Hopefully he's still alive. So Klopp, one of the last acts they'd done before they left Melwood was to film something. And he said, we've heard what's happening with you.
Because he wanted to watch one last Champions League game, didn't he?
Exactly. And he had 2 weeks to live. We heard he's still fighting. That's what we're trying to do. Bring some joy. And he said at the end, it's only about a minute left. And he goes, so I'm Christian. So see you.
Yeah.
And that's how he ended it. Like, see you on the other side. And I was like, I feel fucking emotional now thinking about it.
Man.
So what I'm saying about philosophy and stuff, I think Klopp makes the footballers realise that they're lucky to be playing football. There's more to life. So if you've got this opportunity, you need to grasp it. You need to work hard. And that's how he gets people like Mane and Salah. They should be fucking, doing party pieces and dancing. Really, they're superstars. But I won't even say manners, but he's inspired them enough to realise that they're part of a machine, they're part of a team. And if you work with your teammates, you'll get the personal glories anyway because you've got talent and you play up front.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think he's brought to
The guy
football.
is something else. The way when he talks, some of the things he says, I've said it before. I just want to work for him. I just want a job.
Yeah,
Like,
clean your car.
yeah, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, bro. As long as it's a job. I mean,
brush his teeth.
which pair? He's probably got about 10.
they are all his teeth. You know what I mean? But yeah, the guy, the belief he installs in the team, into individuals, like. I think someone said it in their pre-match interview. He's the players he brought into the team, not just the players he brought into the team, but the players that were already there. How he's improved them. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
He's just amazing. And I mean, watching his press conference before the final, the way he flips things. Like obviously there was this whole narrative, you know, his 7th final, he's lost 6, blah blah blah. Someone asked him, "Is he an unlucky manager?" And he's like, "No, like I'm not an unlucky manager." He said, "Unlucky things have happened, but I'm not an unlucky manager. I haven't had someone was saying as well about a bad career or something like that." And the way he just flips things and he puts a positive spin on it, it's just amazing. Yeah. He's the people's champ, if you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's just oh man. I could talk about him for the rest of the podcast, man. I just think he's absolutely amazing. And anybody that said if he didn't win this final, they were going to ask questions, they need their head testing because...
Yeah, I think they're in the Anfield South group, aren't they?
Because with this guy at the helm, we're only going in one direction. And that's to the top. You know what I'm saying?
In hindsight as well, like some of the things he done, it's like, is he a soothsayer or something? Like Shaqiri, like, where's Shaqiri? Oh, he's in the Champions League semi-final at Anfield, setting up Ronaldo. Like, where does this come from? Origi. Last 3 shots all in goal.
The Origi, the transformation of him, because until the Everton game, he was like, let's just get rid of him. But that's proper man management. That the way he's just made him feel part of the team still.
Kept him hungry.
Kept him hungry. And that the Origi now is like the Origi that was the first season when we was in the Europa League.
Yeah.
And he was really like, he was probably our main striker. He was banging goals and he hit that same kind of form. So putting him back on side and putting him in the team, he's probably going to get a new contract now because, excuse me, it was between him and Sturridge really, like who was going to be, who maybe stay the season.
Yeah, who was going to be
but
the main
Origi's kind of grasped it.
Yeah.
And the amount of goals, the important goals he scored. He's a legend
Even
forever.
Sturridge played, he didn't play for ages and he played against Huddersfield, didn't he? He didn't score, but he was
started
given a
a couple
start.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was given a
started a couple
start
games,
near the end of the season as well.
It's just how he keeps people happy.
Yeah, he's managed the squad.
His
really
man management is absolutely just amazing.
Yeah, second to none.
And I think because I've said it before, like in the group, this is what has been partly holding Liverpool back over the years. We haven't been able to keep talent on the bench, and Klopp is able to keep talent on the bench. Now, obviously, Sturridge is on his way out, so we should be getting more talent in. And I fully trust Klopp, whoever it is, like this, whoever Klopp decides to bring in, if he brings someone in, they could be playing first team football at their club. I reckon Klopp could get them to sit on the bench at Liverpool without doubt.
What do you reckon, lads? Who do you think we might buy?
Do you mind?
Oh,
do you mind?
It's in the schedule.
The new host, isn't it? He's bro, what's the matter with this guy?
I have no idea.
Mate,
He's had too much drink over the weekend. And
It must be, man. Too
What
much
size are them
celebration.
shoes?
No, anyway, Paul, we'll get to transfers, brother. Don't you worry. This is just about let's wax lyrical about the Champions League. Do you know what I mean?
That,
Huh?
I said, what watch is that?
Paul's eyeing it up. Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, but yeah, absolutely amazing, and I'm so grateful to the owners. Let's because we should thank the owners as well.
Questioned a lot, didn't they?
Huh?
Shout out to Chris. Chris with Klopp himself when we were doubting, and the owners. He's been like one of those guys who's been talking about like a project. He's been on it hard. Like,
well, the owners like FSG, they drag us from the ashes because we were close to administration.
Admin. They said it. We was an admin, bro.
We were close to administration under the previous regime. I don't even want to give them the
Laurel and Hardy, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that's better. Bill and Ben were
that
like,
was
you know what I mean?
bad. The way
so
we was
they
run,
actually dug us out, and you know what? For them to pull the trigger on Brendan, they must have really seen something that they thought they didn't feel, and they went out and got their man Klopp, and it's the perfect fit.
Glove.
Henry was like, he said, you know, there's like, you must be like, happy you got him, and they was like, nah, we thank him for coming to us, kind of thing. I was like, I like that kind of spin. So they proper must have sold it to Klopp. You know, you'll get this, you get that.
Everything looks clean at the moment. The stadium looks good. The pitch looks good. Like the football's good.
The business is running amazing.
Yeah. But it's not like ostentatious, or it's not like
Paul,
in your face.
Come on, rewind. For us simpletons here, come on. Ostentatious. Come on, Paul. Help us out.
It's not flashy.
Oh,
Thanks.
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 You know, he can't sit here anymore, you know, because he's never sat here before. And when
He make you look bad.
This is the clever chair. No, I don't speak like this usually.
he would make anybody. Should we just sit him in the middle of the floor?
Sit on the floor, man. You know, he wanted to do the stand-up thing, innit, before. Let him stand up.
Perhaps then you should be sitting on the floor. I should be sitting.
It's true.
No. We're not flashy. This looks, and it doesn't look like we're throwing money at it. Although we did reinvest. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people do go like, which is nice to us. They go, yeah, the continuing money on Van Dijk and Alisson, but I think we were spending a bit of money there because money goes other places. Do you know what I mean? So we spent a bit of money, but it's not flashy. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's. We haven't got any unlikable players either. I don't think we haven't got many divers. When's the last time someone got sent off? Salah's alright. So we want more. That's all. But he's perfect, really.
No, but Salah's, I think, is the only one. Is a bit like he's on the edge for me because he's like even in the final, he could have passed it and he's shooting like the second half.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed it.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Did you see a little bickering with him and Mane? He's doing the same shit. But I'm not gonna go on about it because I've done that already. But yeah, you're right. He is the one that's on the edge, and. Yeah. Anyway, we won. Champions.
You know what? If that's how you feel free, man. Go. Like you want to touch on it. It's cool.
Wasn't truly engaged in the game because it was so stressful watching it in the environment I was in. But I did see those things, and I hate those things when they happen in the game, especially in a big game. I don't want to see any conflict like that unless someone's getting a rollicking for not doing their defending. Yeah. But when you've got opportunities, come on, get your head up, man.
Lay a man in. If he's in a better position,
get your head up.
Lay the man.
Get your head up.
Pick him out.
When it's your two guys up front like that, and Firmino, who's the real link guy, isn't really playing. He's not fit. He's not firing. You two have to link better, man.
To be fair, it only happened once because the only times he had the time was we scored the goal and then we broke on him again. I know what happened. And the ball sort of bounced and he cut inside and he had Firmino and Salah, Mane running in. And he just hammered it at the defender's back, so that was a bit long.
Predictable though.
But in the second half, when because remember because we couldn't play. I think the tiredness and nerves. A lot of the balls were going down the channels, and one went to Salah. He cut inside, and he actually squared it with the outside of his foot, and he was looking for maybe Ronaldo or something. And remember, Mane was steaming in, and I was like, oh, he's gonna blast it in the goal, and it just got ricocheted. So I think it just happened once, and when it happened, it was so bait. I think Mane went.
You know what? I think it'll be fine, but there was an intense desperation for him to be the star. I think for that game, and he's got that about him. Cool, you want to be the star. You'd already scored your pen. Like work for the team, innit?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but he had the added incentive of what happened last season. I think spurring him on. I mean, yeah, in the last
all of them,
final.
though, man.
Yeah, no,
they all lost.
So right.
No, the whole team lost.
The
whole team lost, but the injury, I think it really affected him. So he didn't get to help.
He did do an interview and he's like, yeah, at least I played the game, the whole 90 minutes, and I was like, all right.
So I mean, he had that added incentive, rightly or wrongly, but.
You know, we're not privy to a lot of conversations.
Say that again, Sini?
No, so it feels like a missed opportunity for him. If you get taken out of a game completely, it's different to being part of it and losing as opposed to being taken off the pitch because you don't feel like you're part of it.
Yeah, because you can't affect it. He couldn't affect the game, whether we're winning or losing. He couldn't affect it.
Exactly.
What were you going to say, Paul?
We're not privy to a lot of conversations like with coaches. There's a lot of coaches. I said this to Chris. Like, there's a lot of coaches. We don't know. Klopp doesn't say to Salah, your record of shooting at goal was good.
Yeah, you said this once before. Yeah,
maybe he tells him to shoot
on sight. You don't. Yeah,
we don't know.
I don't think it's likely, but I have to take what you're saying. Yeah, it's like you never know. Do you know what I mean? You never know what they're saying.
It's true, but I can't imagine any manager saying if you got someone in position to do sweaty, shoot instead. Like, there's some obvious ones. Don't get me wrong. If you've got a chance to shoot on goal. But if there's something blatantly obvious in front of you, that's just common sense. And the manager's going to take a goal all day over maybe you might finish it.
Sure. I like a sweaty goal, mate.
Of course.
I love sweaty goals, mate. Guaranteed.
Banker.
I love it. Do you know what I mean? Make sure that goes in the back of the net. But hey, Yeah, no, big up to Klopp, big up to FSG. So, for anyone who doesn't know, I got myself down to the parade, and that was absolutely amazing. Seeing all those people.
No invite, safe. No invite. Safe.
Sorry, man. It's the Southwest divide, man. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But, huh?
That's harsh, man.
It's harsh.
It's like we live in the poor parts, so they don't want to roll
Every
with us, like-
podcast, bro, you say the West-South divide. You need to stop this, bro.
Listen,
It's enough, car.
sorry,
Enough.
man. Sorry, what?
cool,
Right,
man.
say. I gotta think of an excuse. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
It's like before you just say like, I just didn't want to call you, fam.
Exactly.
Like he's referring to where we live.
I know. Like, why you going down, man? No South is the best anyway. Carry on. Anfield South.
Yeah, man.
but I got myself down to the parade, and I'm sure lots of people out there did as well. But for those who didn't, man, that was absolutely amazing. It was absolutely electric. Like,
The Insta Live was wicked. Let me just say that was wicked.
yeah, thank you. It was hard work, but just the people being out on the street and just like the vibe, it was just like everyone was just happy and friendly, and I was pretty cool. Like I'm a grown man. I was pretty cool, but when that bus came along, I was like a kid again, and I was screaming names like, "Asian, Asian, no, yo!" You know what I mean?
So what? Did you get your shirt signed?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how did you? Was it a shirt you was wearing?
Yeah.
So you backed yourself.
So
Frame that.
I give you the story. So obviously,
I'm back to his top.
you know, it's the new top as well. You know, I'm a little bit upset about it. So
A little bit of regret.
You got to frame it. Though. You
Another
have to frame
60
it.
quid down the drain. You know.
So
what I mean?
who
But-
signed it then? Go on.
So that's it. I'm saying. So obviously the bus has come, and I was just thinking I'm gonna let the bus go past, and then turn around and hightail it back down the motorway. But then the people I was with was like they wanted to walk, and I was like, all right, cool, let's follow the bus. So obviously I'm following it now, but you're following it, you're walking fast, and there's so many people in front of you. It's like carnival at a jogging pace, trying to walk through carnival at a jogging pace, Notting Hill Carnival for those who don't know. Anyway. So all of a sudden, I see Dayan's got the pen in his hand. Called Dayan, like we know, like we're pals, you know. So, he's got the pen in his hand, so I'm just thinking, right, he can sign it. So
yeah.
I've called him. I said, Dayan, the international sign for signing things. He said, come on then. So I just took
threw it
my
up,
top
yeah?
off, threw it up. He caught it, he signed it, passed it round, he threw it back down to me.
That's
Who have you
sick,
got
man.
there? Who have you
That's
got?
sick.
Lovren, Shaqiri, Salah, and then on the bus behind, Fowler was there. Because what happened was,
Wow.
Ox was going to sign it. My mate was shouting up to Ox saying, Ox, sign my shirt. He was like, yeah, where's the pen? So I've gone to the back of the bus. I was like, damn, where's the pen? Like, pass it forward. Like, I was just-
Conversation with him, innit?
trust me, it was
Like,
actually
did you
surreal.
get used at a good point of it then?
Yeah,
So it wasn't
because
as ramp.
At the beginning of the parade was
Yeah.
the best part to be, like the beginning part. So on Queen's Drive,
Yeah.
and then it turned right onto Rockley Road or Rockley Lane or something like that. Those were the best parts because there were no barriers between you and the bus.
Yeah.
It was just the line of security, so you could sort of run alongside it. As it got into the city centre, it was all barriered off. So, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so then I've gone to the back of the bus, and Lovren's like, he's lost the pen. So Ox couldn't say it. So then I'm sort of slowing down now, and I've seen Fowler. And I'm like, he's got a Sharpie in his hand. I was like, that's God. I said, that's God.
Yeah, that's God,
Fowler. He was like, yeah, come on then. It's like, you know what I mean? So I threw my top up to Robbie and he signed it as well.
So
man.
was all the ambassadors
That's
on
worth
the,
more
on
than £60, mate.
I don't know who was on the coach because
Yeah,
you
the
could
one
only
after.
see the people on one side.
Yeah.
You couldn't cut through the buses because they didn't want people cutting through the buses. So I couldn't get to the other side.
health and safety.
Yeah, there you go. People were actually cutting through the other side and literally getting draped up, bruv. Like,
Yeah.
it was mad. It was all crazy. But yeah, it was a
That's
excellent.
sick. You have to frame that, bro. You
Yeah,
gotta-
I'm
simple.
going to. My wife's gonna buy the frame and she likes to do all that kind of
she
stuff.
know?
Huh?
Does she know?
Well, she know what? What's wrong with this guy?
How much the
Go
top
on.
cost?
Come on, she knows, man. She knows. But my point being, it was just an amazing experience. Like amazing.
Imagine like you came back and like, I got inside this like that goalie we don't know.
Now you know why there's a Southwest divide. Now you know why I don't call you.
We have fun in the south. You know what I'm saying? So come on, you're
It's
ready,
calm. It's calm.
bro.
Anyway,
sorry,
Moving
moving on.
You got some good-
750,000 people turned out to the parade, man, and I
Can
just
anyone name drop how much Man City had?
think 100,000
100 grand.
They don't even fill the stadium.
plastic fans. That's what I'm gonna say about that plastic.
Do you know
bag.
what they remind me of? Nouveau Rich. You know Nouveau Rich?
No.
Like when you, like, especially like people.
Doing it again, isn't he?
No, but like, Nouveau Rich is like when like people in the 80s, yeah, when like they would start getting a bit of cash.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They start getting a bit of cash.
Yeah.
Might get. Let me try to finish it off. No, but seriously, like Nouveau Rich, they get the money, especially in the 80s. Yeah, they might be working class, then they might start voting Tory because they got a bit of money, and they forget their roots and they make excuses for being rich. Do you know what I mean? Wankers, basically.
Why did you just say that?
But hold on, I thought that the City fans are supposed to be the working class.
Oh,
Manchester
mate, if you
fans.
heard when they call TalkSport, they're so arrogant this season. Oh, yeah, we just buried them today. Yeah, we just buried them, and we got Noel Gallagher coming up next. And like he says the same sort of shit.
But they've had pain
wankers.
as well, man. So let them have their arrogance.
It's true. They've come from.
Don't forget where they
the-
come from.
Anyway, yo.
Yeah,
Forget
Bun
them.
City. Sorry.
My point is, 750,000 Liverpool fans came out to greet the boys home, and it was absolutely amazing. And
As a welcome, boy.
being there, Naby Keita, I could see him. He was just on the side of the bus, just looking, just taking it all
Like
in.
the enormous. What's the word I'm looking for?
Enormity.
That's the one of the club. That's when it's sinking in there.
Yeah, seriously, and I think that a lot of the players realised.
Alisson was crying as well when he saw it. His face was all just. He was messed.
Alisson went into tears when the second goal went in. I saw his face because it's panning. The director's panning it, and his face looked red. I went, she's crying. He
Van
knew
Dijk
it was
crying.
done.
Van Dijk cried at the full time. What's the
The guy was crying at the second goal. Like he knew it was
he?
done. I saw him look like he looked teary as the second goal went
I
in.
didn't see Van Dijk crying, you know.
He was crying.
He was on the floor.
to the ground, bro. And
I
I
saw
saw.
I seen a picture of him.
Hair out of place.
I've seen a picture of him. Yeah, I saw his
The
hair out of
soul glow was
place. And
gone.
it's funny you say that because I saw his hair out of place. And I was like, why is his hair out of place? But I saw the picture of he's lying on.
working then, bro.
Van
Van Dijk slip brush weren't working well that night, bro.
I saw the
he was
picture of Van
ruffled.
Dijk. He's lying on the floor, and I think Matip and someone else are hugging. And I think
When he got up, you saw him. He was.
I gotta go back now. I gotta watch it back. I'm gonna watch it right, all those little bits
Yeah.
back. I love those bits of them talking.
I watch
and
it
stuff.
every day, man. On the app, on the
I've
BT app.
not even watched it back yet.
Yeah, I haven't watched the game back yet, but I need to watch those little bits back because they're
You know,
the
What do you
best
expect
bits.
though? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like even rival fans, like when it got to it, when we had won and they could finally say what they really mean, yeah, Liverpool the best. Like you know what I mean? They were like, whoa, if you lost that. But I would feel sorry for you. Like people were saying they weren't even in a Gumby. They were like, you know, I'm happy.
Well,
I'm
let's
happy
be
for you.
honest, yeah, Sini. For the way we played this season, we deserve silverware.
Oh, come on. It would be criminal if we came away from this season without something to show for it. And I think even the people that hate us deep down, I think they're showing appreciation for what it is that they know we've achieved this season. Any other season, pretty much you clean up with what we've done. Do you know what I mean? So we have had an outstanding season. We're just very, very, very unlucky in terms of league stuff. But in terms of what we've done in Champions League, we definitely needed it, but we also deserved it. There's no question about that. Nobody can even question anything about that.
Sam said it in the Liverpool group. He said we are the best in Europe, hands down. Because I think if you look at 2005, we weren't the best team in Europe, but this year we literally were the best team in Europe. I mean,
Fact.
the teams we beat. Now we should have our name should just ring bells. We should have no problems.
That was happening this season. Nobody wanted to draw us. Everyone was celebrating when they didn't draw us. When once the group stages were done, they were celebrating. Even teams like Barca, they were celebrating that they didn't get us for good reason.
Well, yeah, Barca fans didn't want to play us.
No.
They did not want us. Before the first leg, there's a guy in my gym, Barca, speaks Spanish, said, hey, Liverpool. Oh man, I don't want to play your team, man. They're very dangerous, man. I'm like, I don't know. Your players are very fast, man. We can't handle it. Oh, okay, well, we'll see. And then when we got slapped, I was like, oh man. But you know, Anfield second leg, I always have to be.
Do you know what? Just to sum up the Champions League, I mean, they've just taken us on a ride this season in the Champions League. I mean, from the Bayern game to the PSG game, even the Napoli game, like with the last minute save.
Bro. Did I don't know about you, but I should have did this year at some point in the competition.
Oh yeah,
the
the
Barcelona
Barcelona
game, bro.
I defy any Liverpool fan out there that didn't. Do you know what? The tears never came out because I was standing in my living room and I said, no, come on now. The last time you did this, we lost the leagues. Come on. So I mean, I kept it in, but the emotions were flowing 100%.
That Barcelona game, maybe the second half especially, was the most perfect football I'd seen. And I was saying, who did I say it to? We remind us, our team remind me of AC Milan of the late 80s. And I sort of Googled it because there's always something if you think about it. And I think Klopp had said he admires Sachi, actually.
There we go, Sachi.
And in all the times, maybe 2-3 years ago, when Klopp was getting gunned for being a very attacking coach, he would say stuff like, no, we're a good team. We defend well. And you're like, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? Because he's talking about things in his head. Like, he's, that mad scientist, like, we're defending from the front. We do this, we do that. I just need a few more players. I just need them to believe in themselves more. And that performance was kind of Milan-esque from the late 80s, I think. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't play well, but they got the job done. Do you know what I mean? And they've still got technical players on the pitch.
Amazing.
Getting over the line. That's
and
what
next
it's all
time,
about.
6 times champions.
6 times.
Just amazing. We've conquered all of Europe.
Go on.
No, I'm not going to do the whole thing.
But you know what, we have to, all Liverpool fans listening, we have to enjoy this, embrace it. It's been a while since we won a trophy. Let's enjoy the summer and many more to come,
100%.
This is just the beginning.
100%. Well said, JR. Well said. And on that note, let's wrap up this Champions League bit.